Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're re-diving deep into one of history's most pivotal moments, the outbreak of World War II in Europe. To truly understand how this global catastrophe began, we need to rewind the clock, not just to 1939, but back to the end of the First World War. The Treaty of Versailles, meant to bring peace, instead sowed the seeds of future conflict. It imposed incredibly harsh terms on Germany, crippling its economy and wounding its national pride. This created a fragile and resentful political landscape across Europe. Imagine a powder keg just waiting for a spark. That spark came in the form of the Great Depression, the global economic crisis that started in 1929. As economies collapsed and unemployment skyrocketed, people grew desperate. This desperation was fertile ground for radical ideologies. In countries like Germany, Italy, and Japan, this turmoil fueled the rise of fascism. Leaders promised to restore national glory through militarization and aggressive expansion. They offered simple solutions to complex problems, and the masses, feeling abandoned by the old order, listened. This shared ambition for conquest led to the formation of the Axis powers. Germany, Italy, and Japan officially allied, creating a pact with the explicit goal of dominating the world. An intense arms race began, with nations pouring resources into building bigger and better war machines. The air grew thick with tension, and the world held its breath. So, how did the other major powers react? Britain, France, and the United States adopted a strategy that would become infamous: appeasement. Haunted by the memory of World War I's slaughter, they were desperate to avoid another conflict. They believed that by giving in to some of Hitler's demands, they could satisfy him and prevent a full-scale war. There was also a cynical hope among some Western leaders that a rearmed Germany would act as a buffer against the Soviet Union, pushing any potential conflict eastward. But this policy was a catastrophic miscalculation. Instead of pacifying the Axis powers, it emboldened them, signaling that their aggression would go unchecked. With a green light from the West, Hitler began his expansion. In March 1938, Germany annexed Austria in what was known as the Anschluss. The world watched, but did little. Later that year, Hitler set his sights on the Sudetenland, a German-speaking region of Czechoslovakia. The infamous Munich Agreement was signed, where Britain and France essentially handed over the Sudetenland to Germany without consulting the Czechs, all in the name of peace in our time. But Hitler wasn't satisfied. In March 1939, just months after promising he had no further territorial ambitions, German troops marched in and occupied the rest of Czechoslovakia. This brazen act finally shattered the illusion of appeasement. It was now crystal clear to the world that Hitler's promises were worthless and his appetite for conquest was insatiable. The policy had been a total failure, leaving the Axis stronger and more aggressive than ever. As tensions reached a boiling point, a shocking development threw the world for a loop. In August 1939, two sworn enemies, Nazi Germany and the Soviet Union, signed the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact. Publicly, it was a simple non-aggression treaty, but secretly, it contained a protocol that carved up Eastern Europe into German and Soviet spheres of influence. They had agreed to divide Poland, the Baltic states, and other territories between them. For Hitler, this pact was a strategic masterpiece. It neutralized the threat of a two-front war, freeing him to focus his military might on the West. With the Soviet Union secured, Hitler was ready to make his move. On September 1st, 1939, the world awoke to shocking news. German forces stormed across the Polish border, unleashing a terrifying new form of warfare, the Blitzkrieg, or lightning war. Using coordinated attacks from tanks, planes, and infantry, the German army tore through Polish defenses with brutal speed and efficiency. This was the final straw. Britain and France, having pledged to defend Poland, issued an ultimatum to Germany: withdraw your troops or face war. Hitler ignored it. Consequently, on September 3, 1939, Britain and France declared war on Germany. World War II had officially begun. While Germany advanced from the west, the Soviet Union moved in from the east, fulfilling its part of the secret pact. Caught between two powerful invaders, Poland's fate was sealed. The nation collapsed in a matter of weeks, its territory partitioned between Germany and the U.S. The world watched in horror as a sovereign nation was erased from the map. Yet, after the initial storm of the Polish invasion, an eerie calm settled over the Western Front. This period, from late 1939 to early 1940, became known as the Phony War. Despite being officially at war, Britain and France launched no major military offensives against Germany. Their armies sat behind their defensive lines, in a state of strange, tense waiting. This inaction gave Germany crucial time to regroup, rearm, and plan its next move. While the West was in this state of paralysis, the Soviet Union was busy consolidating its gains. It expanded its influence across the Baltic states, Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania, and into Southeast Europe. The USSR also launched an invasion of Finland in November 1939, sparking the brutal Winter War. Although the Finns put up a heroic and unexpectedly fierce resistance, they were eventually forced to concede territory to the much larger Soviet army. The Phony War came to an abrupt end in April 1940, breaking the silence. Germany launched a surprise invasion of Denmark and Norway. This move was strategically brilliant. It secured vital shipping lanes for Swedish iron ore, which was essential for the German war machine. It also gave Germany valuable naval and air bases to launch future attacks against Britain. The swift and successful occupation demonstrated Germany's military power and its readiness to escalate the conflict. The war was about to enter a new, far more devastating phase, and that's where we'll leave it for today. The initial steps of the war set the stage for the massive conflicts to come, from the fall of France to the epic struggle on the Eastern Front. It's a stark reminder of how diplomacy can fail and how aggression, when left unchecked, can lead to unimaginable consequences. Thanks for watching, and if you found this video informative, please give it a like and subscribe for more historical deep dives. See you in the next one.